Shopping in the 1980s was something special. Nothing like today's cold, lifeless malls that feel so impersonal. Back then, every store had its own character, full of energy, friendly staff, and moments that always brought a smile. It wasn't just shopping, it was an experience to cherish. In this video, we're taking a trip back in time to revisit the iconic stores of the 1980s that we loved and wish we could bring back. But this isn't just about nostalgia, it's a chance to reflect on why we left behind such a magical era. Let's dive in. 1. Sears. Sears. If you grew up in the 1980s, chances are your family spent countless weekends strolling its aisles. Sears wasn't just a store, it was a cornerstone of American life. Need a new washing machine? Sears had you covered. A suit for dad? No problem. Toys for the kids? Sears was a wonderland. But perhaps its most iconic feature was the Sears catalog, a massive book of possibilities that landed in mailboxes every season. Families would gather around, flipping through its glossy pages to pick out Christmas gifts or dream about a shiny new lawnmower. Sears wasn't just about shopping, it was about building a home, literally. Their Craftsman tools and Kenmore appliances were household staples, and Sears even sold DIY house kits back in the day. Walking into a Sears felt like stepping into the future, with modern gadgets and the promise that anything you needed was just an aisle away. 2. JCPenney. JCPenney was the ultimate one-stop shop of the 1980s. It wasn't as flashy as some other stores, but it had a charm that made it feel like part of the family. Back-to-school shopping was practically a tradition at JCPenney, where kids picked out their new jeans, parents stocked up on work clothes, and everyone argued over which winter coats to get. Its catalog was a must-have in many households, filled with affordable styles that made families feel on trend without breaking the bank. And let's not forget the home goods section. From bedspreads to curtains, JCPenney was the go-to for making your house a little cozier. Visiting a JCPenney in the 80s often meant seeing rows of smiling sales associates ready to help. It wasn't just a store, it was reliable, comforting, and always there when you needed it. 3. Macy's. Even in the 1980s, Macy's had a way of making every shopping trip feel special. It was more than a department store, it was an experience. Whether you were visiting one of their flagship locations or a smaller mall outpost, Macy's exuded a sense of class and elegance. Their clothing departments were packed with the latest fashions, and their beauty counters were a playground of perfumes and cosmetics that made you feel glamorous just by walking past. And let's not forget their legendary Thanksgiving Day Parade, which had kids and adults glued to the TV every November. If you were lucky enough to see Macy's holiday window displays in person, it was like stepping into a magical world. While other stores were practical, Macy's was aspirational. It didn't just sell products, it sold the idea that life could be a little more beautiful, one shopping bag at a time. 4. Montgomery Ward. Montgomery Ward, or Monkey Ward as many affectionately called it, was a true giant of the 1980s. This store had a little bit of everything: clothing, electronics, furniture, and even tires. It was a place where families could tackle their shopping lists all in one stop. But what really set Montgomery Ward apart was its catalog. Like Sears, their catalog was a staple in homes across America, with pages packed full of possibilities. Whether it was flipping through for Christmas gifts or imagining a whole new living room set, that catalog sparked dreams. In store, Montgomery Ward had a no-nonsense charm that kept people coming back. Its signature brown bags with the bold logo were a common sight, and for many, the store was a dependable part of everyday life. While it struggled to keep up with the competition in later years, for those who remember the 1980s, Montgomery Ward was a trusted companion. 5. Woolworths. Woolworths was more than a department store, it was a cultural institution. By the 1980s, it was a mix of nostalgia and practicality, a place where you could pick up a little bit of everything. Need school supplies? Woolworths had it. A new lamp for the living room? Check. But what made it truly special was the lunch counter. Shoppers would take a break from browsing to sit down for a grilled cheese sandwich or a slice of pie. It wasn't just a place to eat, it was a gathering spot where conversations flowed and memories were made. Woolworths was also a haven for bargain hunters, with aisles of affordable goods that catered to everyone. By the end of the decade, its prominence began to fade, but its legacy as one of America's most iconic stores remains etched in the hearts of those who grew up with it. 6. Zayre.
Honest quality, genuine value. Get to Zayre and get it all.
Zayre might not have had the glamour of Macy's or the history of Woolworths, but it had something just as important: personality. Known for its bold orange and black signage and budget-friendly prices, Zayre was the kind of store where families stretched their dollars without sacrificing style. It was especially popular in the Northeast and Midwest, with its bright aisles packed with clothing, home goods, and toys. For kids, a trip to Zayre often meant sneaking into the toy section to check out the latest action figures or games, while parents hunted for deals on everything from kitchenware to denim. The store had a distinctly 1980s vibe, with loud colors and promotions that felt exciting. Zayre may have disappeared in the 90s, but for those who shopped there in the 80s, its cheerful energy and great bargains are impossible to forget. 7. Hudson's. Hudson's wasn't just a department store, it was an icon of the Midwest, especially in Detroit. By the 1980s, Hudson's was known for its elegance and its sprawling flagship store, which once held the title of the largest department store in the world. Walking through Hudson's felt like entering a world of possibility, with beautifully curated displays of everything from designer clothing to fine china. It wasn't just a shopping trip, it was an event. Holiday visits were particularly magical, with dazzling decorations and a sense of grandeur that left kids and adults alike in awe. Hudson's also had a reputation for excellent customer service, with sales associates who made you feel valued. While its presence began to dwindle as malls took over, for anyone who grew up in the Midwest, Hudson's was more than a store. It was part of the family. 8. Hecht. If you lived in the Mid-Atlantic region during the 1980s, chances are you spent a lot of time at Hecht's. Known for its quality merchandise and competitive sales, Hecht's was a department store that catered to both everyday needs and special occasions. Their clothing sections were filled with stylish outfits for every member of the family, and their home goods department offered everything from luxurious linens to elegant dishware. Hecht's had a way of making shopping feel refined yet accessible, and let's not forget their seasonal sales. Bargain hunters marked their calendars for Hecht's events, which were the stuff of legend. For many, Hecht's wasn't just a place to shop, it was where memories were made. From picking out prom dresses to buying that first set of grown-up dishes, it was a part of life woven into the fabric of the community. 9. Bonwit Teller. For those with an eye for high fashion, Bonwit Teller was the pinnacle of sophistication in the 1980s. This upscale department store was known for its sleek displays and carefully curated selection of designer clothing, accessories, and home decor. Bonwit Teller's flagship locations were works of art in themselves, with stunning architecture and a luxurious atmosphere that made every visit feel like stepping into a fashion magazine. Shopping here wasn't about practicality, it was about indulgence. Bonwit Teller catered to the elite, but its influence extended far beyond its customer base. Its window displays inspired trends, and its name became synonymous with elegance. By the end of the decade, Bonwit Teller's presence began to fade, but its legacy as a beacon of high-end style in the 80s remains unforgettable. 10. Riches. For anyone in the South during the 1980s, Riches was more than just a store. It was a tradition, known for its southern charm and high-quality merchandise. Riches was a place where families shopped for everything from Sunday dresses to fine china. But what truly set Riches apart was its focus on creating memorable experiences. During the holiday season, the store transformed into a winter wonderland, complete with elaborate decorations and the beloved Pink Pig train ride for kids. Riches wasn't just about shopping, it was about creating moments that brought the community together. Whether you were picking out a prom dress or exploring the enchanting holiday displays, a visit to Riches always felt special. While it eventually merged into Macy's, the memories of Riches' warm service and regional pride live on in the hearts of Southerners. 11. Kaufmann's. If you lived in Pittsburgh or the surrounding area, Kaufmann's was the department store you trusted for style and sophistication. Known for its elegant window displays and luxurious atmosphere, Kaufmann's was a staple of downtown shopping in the 1980s. The store's flagship location, with its iconic clock, became a meeting spot for countless shoppers. Inside, you could find everything from the latest fashion trends to high-end home goods, all carefully curated to reflect Kaufmann's commitment to quality. Holidays at Kaufmann's were especially magical, with ornate decorations and a sense of wonder that brought families downtown year after year. For many, Kaufmann's wasn't just a store, it was a piece of Pittsburgh's history, a place where generations of families created lasting memories. 12. May Company. May Company was the department store that felt like it had everything you needed, no matter the occasion. Anchoring malls across the country in the 1980s, it was the go-to spot for both practical and luxurious items. Whether you were shopping for a special evening gown, back-to-school supplies, or a new set of dishes, May Company delivered quality and variety. Their seasonal sales drew crowds, and their customer service made shoppers feel welcome and valued. Walking into a May Company store in the 1980s meant entering a bright, bustling space filled with possibilities. While its name may have faded over time, its impact on the department store world and the memories of those who shopped there remain timeless. 13. Marshall Field's. Marshall Field's was more than a department store, it was an institution. Its flagship location on State Street in Chicago was a sight to behold, with ornate architecture and a sense of grandeur that made every visit feel like a special occasion. By the 1980s, Marshall Field's had become synonymous with elegance and quality. The store was famous for its Frango mints, a chocolate treat that became a beloved part of shopping there. Holidays at Marshall Field's were unforgettable, with dazzling decorations, glamorous displays, and the famous walnut room serving as the perfect backdrop for festive meals. Whether you were shopping for high-end fashion or admiring the stunning Tiffany ceiling, Marshall Field's wasn't just a store, it was a destination. Its legacy still shines as a symbol of Midwestern pride. 14. Dillard's. In the South and Midwest, Dillard's was the department store that had it all. Known for its stylish clothing, extensive beauty counters, and well-stocked home goods sections, Dillard's was a go-to for families during the 1980s. Anchoring malls across the region, it became the spot for everything from prom dresses to cookware. Dillard's had a knack for blending upscale offerings with affordability, making it accessible yet refined. Their holiday sales and well-organized departments made shopping easy, and their focus on customer service set them apart. Whether you were picking out a new outfit or browsing their elegant furniture displays, Dillard's was a reliable and familiar presence in the 80s mall experience. 15. Burdine's. Known as the Florida store, Burdine's was a department store with a tropical twist. Its bright, vibrant branding and sunny aesthetic reflected its roots in the Sunshine State. Burdine's was the place to shop for trendy clothing, beachwear, and colorful home decor that embodied Florida's laid-back yet stylish vibe. The store's advertisements featured cheerful imagery that captured the essence of coastal living. In the 1980s, walking into a Burdine's felt like stepping into a sunny paradise, even if you were just shopping for a new blender. While it eventually merged into Macy's, Burdine's remains a symbol of Florida's unique charm and the relaxed elegance of 80s department stores. 16. Ames. Ames may not have had the glamour of the big city department stores, but it held a special place in the hearts of small-town America. Known for its affordability and practicality, Ames was the go-to spot for families looking to stretch their budget in the 1980s. The store carried everything: clothing, toys, home goods, and even seasonal decorations. Back-to-school shopping at Ames was a yearly ritual, with its aisles stocked full of notebooks, backpacks, and affordable fashion. While it might not have had ornate displays or high-end brands, Ames made up for it with its accessibility and charm. For many, it was the store where small-town families got everything they needed all under one roof. 17. Service merchandise. Service merchandise was a department store like no other, blending traditional shopping with the novelty of a catalog showroom. Customers would browse catalogs or displays, jot down what they wanted on an order form, and then pick it up from the warehouse-style counter in the back. This unique experience made shopping at service merchandise feel futuristic in the 1980s. The store was a treasure trove of electronics, jewelry, home goods, and toys, and its competitive prices drew in families on a budget. Walking through the brightly lit showrooms and waiting for your item to roll down the conveyor belt was part of the adventure. Service merchandise may be long gone, but its one-of-a-kind shopping experience lives on in the memories of those who browsed its catalogs. 18. Mervyn's. On the West Coast, Mervyn's was a household name in the 1980s. Known for its affordable prices and dependable quality, it was a department store that catered to the everyday needs of families. Whether it was picking out a new wardrobe for school, finding kitchen essentials, or shopping for holiday gifts, Mervyn's had it all. The store's famous sales events, like its Super Sale, packed the aisles with shoppers hunting for bargains. Mervyn's had a friendly, welcoming vibe, making it a favorite for moms and kids alike. It wasn't flashy, but it was reliable, practical, and deeply woven into the fabric of West Coast life in the 1980s. For those who grew up with Mervyn's, it remains a cherished part of their shopping memories. 19. Foley's. For Texans, Foley's was more than just a department store. It was a part of everyday life. Known for its stylish clothing, quality home goods, and bustling holiday sales, Foley's had a way of bringing families together. In the 1980s, shopping at Foley's often meant finding everything you needed for special occasions, from elegant evening wear to thoughtful gifts. Their bridal and home sections were particularly popular, and their friendly sales associates made every visit feel personal. Foley's flagship stores in cities like Houston became landmarks, and their seasonal displays, especially during Christmas, were nothing short of magical. While Foley's eventually merged into Macy's, its name still evokes warm memories of a store that truly cared about its community. 20. Gimbels. Gimbels may have been in its final years during the 1980s, but its legacy loomed large. As Macy's famous rival, Gimbels had long been a staple of American shopping culture. By the 80s, Gimbels was known for its accessible pricing, wide selection, and no-frills approach to retail. Its name was synonymous with reliability, and its stores offered a welcoming, down-to-earth alternative to the more glamorous chains. Gimbels also played a starring role in holiday traditions, thanks to its connection to the classic film Miracle on 34th Street. Although the store closed its doors in 1986, its memory remains a symbol of department store history and a simpler era of shopping. These 20 department stores weren't just places to shop, they were part of our lives, filled with memories of family outings, holiday traditions, and childhood wonder. Which of these stores do you miss the most? Or is there one we didn't mention that holds a special place in your heart? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more trips down memory lane. Your nostalgia journey starts here.